Do you find yourself right now stuck in the never-ending cycle of trying to find a job to give you the experience you so desperately want and need, but unfortunately you don't have the experience to get the job? Well, I have some great news for you, and it's right on the other side of this intro. So stay tuned until after the music.
You're about to listen to a great episode of the Laz and B Experience podcast. Within this episode, my hope is that you obtain something that will help you find your success. So grab a pen, get your paper, your favorite snack or drink, and really listen to what I have to say. I truly believe it can be what you need to get you to your next level in life. So grab a seat and enjoy the ride, and I'll see you on the other side.
Welcome back to another episode of the Laz and B Experience podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. This is going to be yet another great episode where I'm going to give you some great information to help you along your journey to your success. And with that, this episode, I will be talking about the job experience conundrum. And I called it or titled this episode, The Job Experience Conundrum, because I feel like a lot of us, including myself, can get into these situations where we are looking for our first real world experience, or we're looking to change our current experience to a totally different experience. And we kind of find ourselves in this, I need experience to get the job, but I also need the job to get the experience. And it's like this never ending cycle of, I don't know how I'm going to get this career that I want because I don't have the skills yet to obtain that career. But I am here to help you to figure out how you can do that. And I know you can with the ideas I'm going to be giving you today. But before I get into those ideas, I do want to start this episode, like I do all my individual episodes, with a little story time. So to get to this position where I am today, where not only do I have a job that I can easily turn into a career path, but I also have very great career opportunities coming to me multiple times a month via LinkedIn, and I had to start from the bottom. And just to give you a little bit about what I do, I work for a company called TRC, and we are a third-party company for utility companies. So here in Indianapolis, we mostly work with a company called AES Indiana. And what I do specifically is I design utility poles that you see outside your house or outside your job or in your neighborhood whenever they need to get like equipment replaced, if they need to replace the pole because of damage or whatever. So I go out and I collect the data for that pole or for that circuit that I'm working on. I analyze that data and then I design the pole or design the poles for that circuit. But one of my first internships had nothing to do with my career path, but it did have something to do with one of my passions. So my first internship was at my church's business school. So when I was younger in high school and a little bit at the beginning of my college career, I went to a church called Living Word Christian Center. And within that church, literally within that church, the pastor, Pastor Bill Winston, has a business school, and the business school is called the Joseph Business School. And I was able to get this position. I believe this was my first summer after my freshman year in college because, one, I was a good student. Two, I had a good resume with volunteer experience, as well as I worked at McDonald's when I was in high school. So I still had that on my resume at the time. And then I also prepared for the interview. And I did this internship for 2 summers. So I got to really get to know those people and the other interns that worked there. Now, from that experience, I was able to gain another internship the following summer in a position closer to my field of study. And if you don't know, my field of study that I'm working on, my degree is in electrical engineering. Now, I was a field inspection intern for a company that was doing train rail construction on the rail line in Chicago. So many years ago, They were replacing the rails on the red line in Chicago, and I was basically an inspector to make sure the construction workers were doing what they said or not just doing what they were supposed to be doing, but making sure everything was properly placed and everything was up to the standards that the red line should be. So through that experience and having some connections with the company through a program I did in high school, I was finally able to secure my first internship with a company called Northrop Grumman as a systems engineer. And I do want to give a little shout out to Northrop Grumman because they had a great program that I'm pretty sure they still do today for high school students to get introduced into engineering in the STEM field. This program was very instrumental into me choosing to be an engineer in the first place. So with this program, I was able to get mentors. I was able to work with other students from different high schools in the area. I was able to get paid and get a scholarship. And I learned a lot about engineering. I learned about programming and coding. I learned about Arduino boards. I learned about problem solving. I learned about experimenting and all that kind of stuff. So again, this program really got me interested in engineering, and hopefully one day I can go back and be a mentor or do something with the program, because like I said, this was a big program that helped me decide to become an engineer in the first place. Now, after my 2 internships with the Joseph Business School, and then my internship with the Red Line, and then now my internship at Northrop Grumman, this led me to get a host of other engineering internships, co-ops, and full-time offers. Some I even had to decline because I couldn't have multiple going on at one time. So I have a list of companies that I either worked for or got an offer letter for me to work there. So I had companies like Navistar, GE Healthcare, Duke Energy, Rolls-Royce, and then, like I talked about earlier, my current employer, TRC. I am now in a position to, when I finally earn my bachelor's degree in electrical engineering, which should be very soon, I won't have to take the first offer I get or something I'm not interested in just to get my feet wet. I will be able to really choose what I want to have based off the skills and based off the experience and based off what I want in a job. And I won't have to take just the first thing that comes to me or the only thing that comes to me. And I say this not to brag, at least mostly not to brag, but to show you how where you start doesn't have to be where you end or even look like where you end. And hopefully with this episode, I will be able to help you find ways for you to get to where you want and deserve to be. So enough of that story time. Now let's get into the main topic, the main thing, the main reason why you're listening to this episode. So now, if you couldn't tell by the title, by my intro, or by my story time, in my episode today, I'm going to be discussing the need a job to get experience, but need experience to get a job dilemma, and how you could potentially get out of that never-ending loop. But before I get into or get started, I want to state 2 things. 1, all of my talking points will not work for everyone's situation. Some might work better than others. So start with what you believe will work and then go down the list from there. And then number 2, like everything I say, and I say this a lot within my podcast, take everything I say with a grain of salt. My experience won't be your experience and vice versa, but I do believe my experience can help you through your experience. So let's really get started now. So let's get started with the first way I believe can help you get out of this job experience conundrum, which is building your network. And I talk about networking in almost every episode, or I try to talk about it in every episode, because I know how important it is to being successful in finding your success. Now, going to networking events and joining different social and professional clubs in your community or in your school if you're a student can get you in front of a lot of people who can help make your career aspirations a reality. Your network or your list of connections should be filled with people who can and will advocate for you when they have or when they know someone who can fulfill your goals, and vice versa. As much as you get from your network, you should also be giving to your network. That's how everyone benefits from this relationship. Now you may ask, how do I network, or where can I go to build my network? If that question is from you, I suggest that you pause this episode, go back to season 2, episode 9, I believe it's called Networking 101. And this is where I dedicate literally the whole episode to networking. And then you can come back and you can finish up with this episode. But it's a great episode if you're looking not only to know more about networking, but how to network and how to build your network. Now, the great thing about networks is that they can and should be filled with as many people as you want and need, and with people in all areas that you're interested in. So if you're looking for an opportunity in one field, but end up not liking it, or you just want to try something new, you can have someone who can help you and guide you or show you different areas that you're interested in. And like I said it before, and probably in the networking episode, don't forget to give just as much or even more than you receive. Like I said, this is a relationship where it's both give and take, and you want to make sure you try to give just as much as you take from that relationship. Now we can move on to my second talking point of how to get out of this job experience conundrum, which is work on passion projects. If you're having trouble getting experience in your field you're interested in, work on projects you on your downtime to give yourself experiences you're looking for. Now, depending on the industry or the areas you're interested in, you may have to make a financial investment into these projects. But the real investment is into you and making a bet on yourself. Now, if you don't have any ideas for projects to work on, simply do internet searching in or ask your network. Now, with internet, you can search anything. You can search a lot of things. So basically, you can search whatever field you're in, projects for engineering or projects for photography or projects for whatever you're interested in, and a host of things will show up. Now, I know it won't work for 100% of industries, which I have other ideas that can help with that. I will talk about that after I finish with this one. Now, the thing is, they don't have to be 100% originally your ideas, but they should be something that you worked on and can effectively explain what you did, how you did it, why you did it, what you learned from it, and any problems you may have had and how you overcame them. These are things people will ask you when they want to know more about your project and see if you are a good fit for their opportunity. In the end, if this is truly an area you want to be in, the projects you select and work on should be enjoyable, at least to some extent, and really help you gain or improve the skills you need to be successful in that field or industry that you're interested in. Now, with this third idea, this is the one where if you can't find a project, or it's hard to find a project, can really be something that can help you. Now, another great idea to not only help you get to where you want to be in life, but also kill many birds with one stone, is volunteering. Now, when you're volunteering, you're also still building skills and improving on skills that can be used in other opportunities you're looking for. You're also working with other like-minded people who are now a part of your network of people who can also help you when it comes to finding opportunities. People who volunteer are already giving people. So if they could find another way to give to someone, they most likely will, especially if it's someone who also likes to give and volunteer. Just a quick story, me being with Big Brothers Big Sisters, Big Brothers Big Sisters, I know I talk about it a lot, but I really enjoy it. I was given the opportunity to take photos for the littles, the mentees, the ones who are graduating from high school, which means they're also graduating from the program. So I was given the opportunity, a paid opportunity, to take photos for those individual littles who are graduating. And that's just one example of how volunteering can help you get opportunities that you probably wouldn't have never gotten without volunteering. Now, this can also be considered a passion project as well, or at least give you more ideas and resources for a passion project. And then while you're gaining new skills, building your network, and working on your passion project, you're also building your community and making it a better place to live. And if you want to continue the conversation of volunteering, I will be having an episode all about volunteering in April of this year. So definitely stay tuned if you want to hear more about volunteering, or if you need ideas for volunteering, definitely stay tuned for that episode. It's going to be a great episode. My next way, I believe, can help you get the experience and knowledge you need to get the opportunity you want is by going through a training or certificate program. Now, this is another one that will most likely need a financial investment, but depending on the type of training or certificate you're going after, it can and will be well worth it. Now, recently, I actually was looking at different certificate programs, and I know Google has a lot of them, and some of them, if not all of the Google ones, are free. You have to start at a certain time. But Google is a reputable company, and you can probably get some type of job or a job that you're looking for just off of that type of certificate or from that company, because everyone knows who Google is and how big Google is. While in the program, along with building your skills and knowledge on that subject, you are again also building your network with like-minded people. And depending on how long the program has been operating and the connections it may have, you might also be able to connect with the right people just for being in that particular program. For example, if you're interested in coding or cybersecurity and you find an online program that can give you training in a certificate you need to be in that field, they will most likely also have connections with companies that hire previous students and want to hire even more students from their program. And to make this type of investment a little less risky, research the company that they said their previous students worked at, or companies that you're interested in, and see if that type of certificate or training is something that will qualify you for the position that you're interested in. And before you even ask, if you haven't already, definitely create a LinkedIn account, follow the companies you're interested in, and then connect with people who work there by simply searching for employee or recruiter for XY company. Introduce yourself and politely ask them your questions. I've done this before when I was looking for positions within Apple. I simply researched recruiters at Apple. I found a list of them and I simply added them to I followed them or tried to connect with them, and then I sent them all a polite message asking them, what can I do to stand out when applying for these different positions within Apple? Now, you have to continue to connect and communicate with as many people as it takes to get to the results you desire. I didn't just contact one person or two people. I contacted a lot of people, and most of them didn't respond to me. But some of them did, and they gave me some great advice that I use for not just for Apple, for all the positions that I've applied for. And for the most part, it's free. LinkedIn is a free social media professional website. I mean, it does have a premium version, but all you need is the free version to get to use the tips I'm just talking about right now. You just have to take the time and do the work. Now, my last tip for getting out of the chicken and egg situation is very simple, but a lot of people won't want to do it, which is starting at a lower position and then working your way up. A lot of people don't like this way because it could take a long time and they are like impatient. Even though I took some of the advice that I've talked about, I took most of it for myself. This is probably what helped me the most. I worked many different jobs from hotels to security, but I was able to learn from all of them, and then it helped me get to where I am today. Yes, it may have taken longer than I wanted, but I also was able to gain a huge network and real skills that came from it. Now, working your way up gets you to meet and connect with a lot of different type of people who you never know will come in handy in your future. It also helps you to learn how to communicate with people on multiple levels, from entry level to senior executives, which is good no matter what area or path you're taking. At the end of the day, if it's something you truly want and desire, you will work hard to get there and let nothing stand in your way, even yourself. And with that, we now have come to the end of the episode, which I hope gave you something that can help you find your success. But before you leave this episode, I would challenge you to participate in the challenge of the week, which I will really appreciate it if you did. Now, this week, this challenge is really just for those who feel they are stuck in this job experience conundrum, the one I talked about earlier or throughout this episode. So if this is you, I challenge you to take at least one of these ideas and begin the process of getting out of this seemingly never-ending cycle. Now, it may take some time, especially with the last one, or for all of them really, for you to see the results you're looking for. So maybe take the week to figure out which one is best for you and then work on it and really give it 100%. And if or when you hit a wall, regroup, reevaluate, and continue moving forward. And I think that's a great motto to end on, because no matter what you're working on, whether it's within this episode of the job experience conundrum, whether it's with a relationship, whether it's with your finances, whether it's with your health, if and when you hit a wall, you need to regroup, you need to reevaluate, and then you need to continue moving forward. And with that, I would like to end this episode and say thank you for listening to another great episode of the Lazenby Experience podcast. I really hope you was able to gain something from it to help you along your success. Now, if you liked it, if you like what you heard today, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to all my social media channels so I can know that you're listening and enjoying the content. Now, if you have any questions, any comments, topic ideas, or even guest ideas, please don't hesitate to email me at lazenbyexperience@gmail.com, or you can DM me on any kind of social media platform that you see me on. Now remember, seasons 1 and 2 are also available on all platforms you listen to podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, pretty much anywhere else you listen to podcasts, at the Lazenby Experience podcast, just like you found this episode. Then lastly, for my readers, I have a blog that covers every episode topic, which can be found at lazenbyexperience.wordpress.com. Now within this blog, I have articles from season 2, as well as from articles from before I even started a podcast. So there is a lot of stuff you can read and enjoy as well and learn from. I do want to say again, thank you for listening to this episode of the Lazenby Experience podcast. I really hope you were able to learn something that can help you right now on your journey to your success. And as always, until next time, continue your journey until you reach your success.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of the Lazenby Experience podcast. I really hope you were able to receive valuable information that will help you take actionable steps to get you closer to achieving your goals. If this is true for you, I would really appreciate it if you shared this episode with others, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to continue receiving updates on new episodes. I truly am excited about how my experience, the Lazenby experience, can make a difference in your life. Again, thank you for listening to the Lazenby Experience podcast, and until next time, continue your journey until you reach your success.